You finally take a break. You've been looking forward to this for weeks, months really. You have been so exhausted. You've worked so hard and you can't wait to just do nothing. You're gonna get to sleep, lounge on the beach, turn your email notifications off. You finally get your break. But instead of coming back easy breezy, beautiful, refreshed, you somehow feel worse. The fog, the heaviness, the dread, it all creeps back in almost immediately. Like your nervous system never got the memo that vacation was supposed to fix everything for you. If that's where you're at right now, where even vacation doesn't touch your level of burnout, this video is going to be for you. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Mel, a licensed naturopathic doctor. I love chatting all things anxiety, burnout, herbs, helping to support the nervous system holistically. And I especially love talking about burnout because I was a chronic burnouter. I would run myself into the ground for 51 weeks of a year and think that 1 week of vacation was going to be the magic cure-all for my problems. I would feel really good on vacation, but also, sometimes I wouldn't feel good on vacation because I would have this mental clock in my head and I'd start getting anxious that I wasn't relaxing fast enough. Let me know if I'm alone in this. Let me know in the caption if you've ever experienced this, where you feel like you only have 7 days to relax. You better start relaxing on day one. And if you're still feeling tight and tense, it makes you feel even more anxious. And then vacation would be over. I'd get home from vacation and just crash, go back to my old ways. Because here's the stone cold truth. Rest doesn't work the way that we've been taught. Not when you're healing from deep depletion, chronic stress, a dysregulated nervous system. Not if you're living in a body that doesn't feel safe. So in today's video, I really want to break down why you feel burnt out after you take a break and the types of rest that you might be missing from your vacation, from your self-care routine. So grab yourself a cup of tea. I've got the Iced Summer Blend by Mind Body Herbals. It's a hibiscus rose hip. It's delicious. So grab yourself something fun to drink and let's get into it. If you take nothing else from this video, I want you to remember this. You can't truly feel restored, truly feel refreshed if you are living a life that you feel that you have to constantly escape from. We're sold this idea that burnout is just a sign that you need a vacation. If you could just pause, unplug, sleep a little bit more, everything would go back to normal, you'd be fine. But what are you supposed to do when you do take the break and your body still feels like it's fighting for its life every day? It's because vacation doesn't fix the problem. It pauses it. And when your body is living in long-term survival mode, a pause isn't gonna create lasting change, right? It's just gonna give you that temporary break from the system that's burning you out in the first place. So many of my clients will say to me, I went away, I booked the vacation, I took the PTO, but I came back and I still feel anxious. I still couldn't sleep. I still snapped at my partner. I still wanted to crawl in bed at 2 p.m. And I'll tell them it's not about how much rest you get. It's about what you're returning to. Because if your day-to-day life still includes emotional labor you're not being acknowledged for, a phone that pings every 5 minutes for something urgent, a job that doesn't support your nervous system, or a mental load that really never turns off, then of course you're gonna feel fried. That vacation didn't fail you. You didn't fix the root cause. The life that you're returning to is what needs to change. And that doesn't mean that you need to blow everything up. You need to quit your job. You need to move. You need to break up with your partner. But it does mean that recovery is not just about taking time off. It's about redesigning what you're actually returning to. If you're spending 50 weeks a year in survival mode, 1 or 2 weeks isn't going to be enough to recalibrate your system. Rest is not the same as recovery. Healing isn't just a wellness aesthetic. It's about how your body functions day to day. A lot of people will go on vacation, but they don't really downshift. They stay hypervigilant. We treat rest like it's this on or off shift. We're either working or we're on vacation. If you're burnt out, stop everything, go rest. If you're feeling overwhelmed, log off and go live in a forest. It's a lot of these black and white on and off instead of integrating and creating something that you don't need to be so turned off from. I love a good unplugging moment. I'm not saying there's not a time and place for that, but we're mistaking the act of getting away from and disengaging with actually repairing the problem. Here's the difference. Escape is when we hit pause on a life that's hurting us. Healing is where we slowly start to build a life that stops hurting us in the first place. That's root cause medicine right there. Let me give you a recent example, actually. I had been feeling very burnt out, very creatively uninspired, working a lot of long hours, having a lot of events to go to that I was happy to go to, but it was just a lot on my calendar. I had too many things on my schedule and not enough space, which is the way that my nervous system really likes it. So I decided I had a Saturday off. I didn't have any plans, that I was going to do a 1-day retreat. And that was going to be the thing that was going to fix me. I was going to wake up slow, have my coffee in bed, journal. I was going to do yoga outside. I was going to do something creative. And my cup was going to be overfloweth at the end of the day. I know this will be a shock, but it did not happen like that. I spent most of the morning feeling that I needed to hurry up to relax. Yes, I had my phone turned turned off, the weather was beautiful, I had the quiet, I had the space, but I couldn't feel it. The whole time I was thinking about what I had to do the next day, what was coming in the next week. I was still on edge. I was still feeling kind of hyper vigilant, that anxious energy in my body, still trying to mentally organize my life in the background. And again, it was just a reminder that your body doesn't relax just because your schedule tells it to. It relaxes when it feels safe to finally let go. And that's sometimes something we can't manufacture. Many of us are trying to rest when our body is still in that fight or flight response. So even when we stop, our system doesn't. It'll stay braced, numb, disconnected, hyper aware. It's kind of like when you park and turn off your car. The car's off, but you're still gripping the steering wheel. If you don't have the tools or the resources to actually downshift, that rest can feel really pointless and even agitating. And here's where it can get even less straightforward. Sometimes we're not just physically exhausted. We're emotionally disconnected, mentally overloaded, spiritually feeling neglected. When we try to rest, it doesn't feel restorative. Slowing down to zero can feel really overwhelming. You're so used to the go, go, go that then you look for that same type of stimulation. You might reach for your phone, throw on a show, not being able to really tolerate silence. And we just jump right back into productivity mode by planning, by scrolling. You think I should be using the time better. But really what you're saying then is, I don't know how to be with myself when there's nothing to do. If that hit a little too hard, I just want you to know that you are not alone in feeling that way. You haven't been taught that safety and stillness are skills that we have to continue to practice, especially after years of surviving. Sometimes the body just needs to relearn that. So if you came back from a vacation, from your time off, and didn't feel better, the question isn't, what's wrong with me? The question is, what parts of me never felt safe to relax in the first place? What am I trying to escape from that's keeping me in this burnout cycle in the first place? So how do you know if you're still operating from survival mode even after you rest, you go on a vacation? I want to walk you through 3 signs that I see a lot with my one-on-one clients and personally in my own life. These aren't big dramatic signs. They're really subtle, and that's why it can be easy to miss them, but they speak volumes about how safe or unsafe your nervous system really feels. 1, rest doesn't feel restful. So this is that whole coming back from vacation and still not feeling restored feeling. You take the time off, you do a bubble bath, you go for a walk, and still you're feeling wired, numb, irritated. Feel like you're going through the motions of rest, but you're not really feeling that rest. This often shows up as feeling restless when it's quiet, feeling guilty for not being productive, or feeling emotionally flat or not even in your body. This is your system saying, I hear you trying to rest, but I don't feel safe yet. 2, you're bracing for re-entry. You're supposed to be enjoying your break, but your mind is already spiraling about your inbox. You're making lists, you're mentally scheduling, you're prepping for catch-up mode before you've even come back. This is a classic sign of fawn or freeze mode. Your system is trying to get ahead of a perceived threat so it doesn't get blindsided. When that's your pattern, vacations are not going to feel relaxing. They feel like you're just pressing pause before the shitstorm really starts. And 3, you don't feel safe in your own life. This one's a little bit deeper. It's not about your vacation, it's about what you're returning to. If you come home and your gut clenches every time you think about having to go to work, if your calendar gives you a pit in your stomach, the idea of logging back into real life makes you want to cry. That's not a vacation problem, it's a misalignment problem. Your life might look fine on paper, but your nervous system knows otherwise. It knows what's unsaid, it knows those micro stressors. It knows when your output doesn't match your capacity. And it will keep trying to get your attention until something shifts. If you're feeling this way, I don't want you to see your inability to relax on vacation as this big bad thing. I want you to use it as a marker of what needs to change. If you're feeling this anxiety having to come back to your life and you love your life on vacation so much, what is it about that vacation life that you can bring into your real life? You're getting burnt out because your body is trying to protect you from a life that doesn't actually support you. So use it as information and create change. Another reason why people can get stuck in this burnout cycle is because they think rest is only physical rest. There are actually 7 different types of rest that your nervous system needs to feel safe. And by incorporating these different types of rest into your day-to-day life, you're able to break free of that burnout cycle. But first, we're going to talk about the one that everybody knows, which is physical rest. Nap, sleep, resting from your workouts. If you do feel like you need physical rest still, but you are getting enough sleep, maybe it's about sleeping differently. Going to bed earlier and having more of an unwind routine, having slower mornings, working on reducing inflammation in the body so that you're able to get to that restorative sleep, nourishing your body with foods that help to stabilize your blood sugar so you're not having these up and down crashes before you go to bed, when you wake up. If you feel like you're just not waking up feeling well rested when you should, those are some things that you can look at. Number 2, mental rest. Do you ever feel like your brain is just running 24/7 with 17 different tabs running? Mental rest means creating space between those thoughts. Less decision making, less multitasking, more transition time and silence between activities so your brain can process what just happened. This is where things like journaling, time in nature, or letting yourself just stare out a window for 5 minutes and daydream can be so helpful in helping your mind to reset. 3, sensory reset. Sensory overload is nervous system overload. Bright lights, noises, people talking, constant screen time, these are all things that can cause a lot of sensory overload. So ask yourself, where can you reduce stimulation? Where can you intentionally unplug? Not just from your job, but from scrolling, from bright overhead lights, your comfort show that's just background noise all day. There's a lot of power in silence, and sometimes it's a muscle that we have to rework if we're so not used to being in silence. But your nervous system might just be begging for you to unplug a little bit. 4, emotional rest. This is where you need to be really honest about how much you're carrying and how much you're carrying of other people's stuff. Most women I know are holding on to so much emotional labor. So when it's time for them to rest and relax, they still feel the weight of other people's expectations, feelings, needs. Emotional rest might look like setting boundaries, telling people that you are not okay and being honest about how you feel. Having someone else hold space for you and being witnessed without feeling like you need to fix anything. And letting yourself cry, rage, journal, grieve. Feel whatever you need to feel. Number 5 is social rest. Depending on your season of life that you're in, this one can really fluctuate whether you need to say no to plans or you need to be saying yes more. It's about stepping away from those draining interactions and leaning more into the people that really fill your cup. So this could look like a weekend without plans. It could look like a Sunday night dinner with your loved ones. It's really asking yourself what drains me and what restores me. Number 6 is creative rest. Creative rest is about doing what inspires you without the pressure. So if you do something really creative for work, if you do a lot of problem solving, if you're an artist, if you create content, you need time to create just for you, not for that output and that productivity. If you don't have a lot of creative outlets in your job or in your day-to-day life, adding in a creative hobby is going to feel so life fulfilling for you. You could get out a box of crayons and color like you were a kid. You could go to a museum. You could sing, you can cook, you can play. This type of rest is really just about letting your imagination wander. Having no expectations, not trying to do anything for the sake of productivity, but just to create for the sake of creating. And lastly, number 7 is spiritual rest. This is about connecting to something larger than yourself, something grounding, something that helps you feel held. Whether that's through faith, through ritual, through nature, through community care, spirituality reminds us, I'm not doing this alone. It helps shift your nervous system from that high responsibility mode to surrender. So when I say rest, I'm not just saying take a nap, get more sleep. We're talking about whole person recalibration. And maybe your vacation didn't offer enough variety of the 7 types of rest. Maybe it was very go, go, go. Maybe it was overstimulating. Maybe it didn't meet your emotional or spiritual needs at all. Or maybe it gave you the quiet, but you didn't know how to sit with it yet. Burnout doesn't heal with more escape. It heals with more honesty, alignment, integrity, and how we relate to our everyday lives. So instead of waiting for the next break, what if you brought these kinds of rests into your regular week? What if healing isn't something that you had to pause your life to get, but something you designed your life around? I want you to start to think about how you can just sprinkle in these 7 different types of rest throughout a day, throughout a week. For me personally, when I really feel my nervous system feeling activated in that fight or flight mode, it's usually from sensory overwhelm. So something that I like to do at the end of a work day is do legs up the wall. I put on my headphones. I either turn them into noise canceling mode where I can't hear anything, or I put on 528 hertz frequency, which is just a very soothing sound frequency to take the edge off. And I just sit there for 15 minutes and let my body just decompress. That's 15 minutes of my day that has such a profound impact on my capacity levels. I'm also a big fan of a Sunday meeting with yourself to kind of plan out your week. This could be when you plan out different social plans. When am I going to have a night to myself? When am I going to be with community? Are there workouts I want to do that are going to make my body feel really strong? Do I want to set cutoff times in the day for when I'm not going to work anymore? Another thing that I love to do when the weather's nice is that I commit to eating 1 meal a day outside. Being out in nature really makes me feel spiritually connected. That's a really important thing for me. Eating my breakfast outside, having my afternoon coffee outside. It doesn't have to be this nature retreat. Don't think about it like the on and off switch. What are ways that you can just sprinkle in and integrate this as part of your life? I would love to hear some ideas that you have for incorporating the 7 different kinds of rest, so make sure you leave those below. If you're watching this and you're feeling burnt out, please hear this. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not behind, you're not lazy because you feel exhausted. You're trying to live in a world, in a society that often doesn't support healing. You're trying to heal in a world and a society that often doesn't support slowing down. And that means that rest and recovery might look different than what you've been told and taught. It's not about escaping your life and just living for a vacation. It's about returning to it differently, on your terms, with your nervous system at the center of it. You do not need another vacation to feel like yourself again. You need the kind of rest that actually meets your real needs. You deserve a life that you don't have to constantly recover from. If you're feeling stuck and really unsure about where to start, definitely check out the 6-week burnout recovery plan and Notion template. It walks you through the full reset process that I use with my clients and I use with myself whenever I'm stuck in burnout. It's not overwhelming, it's practical, it's aligned, and it'll help you map out that rest that your body's actually looking for. I'll have that linked in the description below. You deserve a life that nourishes you back, not one that burns you out over and over and over again. I promise you, rest is possible. Until next time, I'm rooting for you every step of the way.